All right, what's up, everybody? Hope you all are doing well. My name is Malachi Wright, and for those who may not know, I am a D2 at the University of Maryland School of Dentistry. Wow, honestly, saying D2 is super weird. I might have to go back to saying D1. No, God forbid. God forbid I go back to saying D1. Let's go. But I'm a D2, guys. D2 at University of Maryland School of Dentistry. I lie to you not. This year has been super slow, but yet super fast at the same time. It seemed like yesterday I was preparing to go into dental school, and I cannot believe I'm done with year one. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video today. I'm going to be talking to you guys about what my year one experience was like at the University of Maryland School of Dentistry, some things I wish I knew before coming into dental school, and some of the things that I think that I would change or modify if I were to go back and do this year over again. So if you are a incoming D1 at any dental school or pre-dental student who's looking to get into or go to dental school, I would definitely check out this video and take out a notepad and pen and start writing down some notes, guys, because I'm going to be giving you guys the raw footage and the raw details about what is going on in dental school and some of the things that I would change. So if you haven't done so already, please be sure to like this video, comment if you have any questions at the end of this video, and please be sure to check out my other videos as well. I make day in the life videos of what a life is like in the day, or what the day is like in the life of a dental student, and a couple of other things on my YouTube channel that I'm super excited to share with you guys about. Got a couple of things coming up in the future that I'm super excited about. For those who don't know, I will be at the NIH this summer doing some research, and I'm going to be doing a couple of other things this summer that I'll tell you guys about a little later. But let's get into the content for this video today. All right, so for those who don't know, I am typically a pretty busy person. I also work a job doing consulting while I'm also in dental school. In addition to doing consulting, I also am in a full-time relationship. And I say full-time relationship because, you know, a lot of people who may be in a relationship, they may see their significant other every other week or once every week or something like that. I see my girlfriend every single day. And we make sure to spend time with each other. We make sure to continue to cultivate our relationship, do Bible study together and stuff like that. And that stuff takes time. So I say I'm in a full-time relationship. In addition to that, I also go to the gym every single day. I keep my fitness routine. I'm actually in the process of a major cut. Throughout this first year, I've been able to lose over 85 pounds, kind of getting closer to my goal of getting under 200 pounds. If you guys want to know how I did that and how I'm going to continue to do that, please check out my latest video where I was able to describe how I lost 85 pounds within a matter of 6 to 8 months. So please check that out. But if you're here for this video, we're going to be talking about what my first year experience was at the University of Maryland School of Dentistry. For those who may not know, I got into every single dental school that I was accepted to, including 2 Ivy League schools known as UPenn and Columbia. And a big decision went into whether or not I wanted to attend either of those schools, obviously because they're Ivy League schools, and a lot of people get caught up with the name of schools. But for me, I'm more of an experienced type of person, and I really wanted to know what my experience, or really wanted to know what I was getting from my experience in dental school. That led me to Instagram, reaching out to a lot of different people, finding out exactly what they liked about the schools that they attended, and really seeking some advice that was, you know, the pros and the cons of an institution at the school. And, you know, one of the things that I really thought about when going into dental school was having a family environment. And one of the things that I will say is extremely important when going to dental school is making sure that you have this family environment that can continue to cultivate your success at the dental school. So starting out in August, I like to keep things extremely blunt on my channel. I don't like to gatekeep anything. So one of the first things I want to talk about was the courses that we took, how I ended up performing in those courses, and some of the things that I think are important to consider while in dental school as well. So before anybody makes any blatant judgments or comments or concerns or anything that they're thinking of in regards to my academic wise in dental school, just know I'm not the type of person who is going to be risking my health, risking my mental health, or risking anything to just try to do or to get like an A in a class or something like that. Don't get me wrong, I do strive to do as well as I can in courses, but I do think that those things come with a cost. Now, there are a lot of people in my class who pull all-nighters studying for exams, who stay up all night, who are studying literally endless all day, every day. They don't do anything else. And I'm just not that type of person. Now, granted, I'm also not the type of person to be out all the time. I don't drink, I don't go to bars, clubs, and all these different things. I know how to have a good time, but that's just not my form of a good time. So I do different things outside of school rather so than going to parties and stuff like that. But occasionally at the University of Maryland, you may catch me at one or two parties. Obviously not drinking, but I will be at a party, having a good time with the people in my class. Nevertheless, with all that being said, I will say making sure that you have an outlet outside of school where you're not 100% only focused on school is going to be extremely important. So for me, throughout this whole year, we took about maybe 19 classes in total, which was about somewhere around 50 something credits or something of that nature. I think it was like maybe 49, 48 or 50 credits, somewhere around there. Out of those 19 classes, I was able to achieve all A's and 1 B. So for those who are numbers folks, that's 18 A's, 1 B. And that 1 B, surprisingly, is in a class that is not extremely difficult, but I think all classes in dental school have some form of difficulty to it. But it was in dental anatomy. And for me, you guys know, you've heard me plenty of times in this YouTube channel talk about waxing. And if you're a D1 coming into dental school, if I had multiple other dental students here with me, they'll tell you, we want to make sure that you're practicing your waxing skills, guys. Have those waxing dates, go to those waxing learning sessions that SNDA hosts. I went to a couple of them, but I was not as dedicated as I should have been to waxing. And if I were to go back and change anything, I would have definitely reached out for more help. I would have sat next to my friend Cheyenne, and I would have said, Cheyenne, show me step by step how you wax. Because that girl will be waxing and she'll get everything looking beautiful. And my wax will be looking okay, but it wasn't good enough to give me the grade that I actually wanted, which is fine. The lecture component of the class, I got A's on all the lecture exams because I really love the professor, Dr. Morgan. If you guys don't know, Dr. Morgan, she's going to be your best friend for dental anatomy. But Dr. Morgan did a great job teaching this course. The waxing was just super hard. And the way that it graded your wax up were super stringent. So one thing that they do at the University of Maryland, we have like, I guess you could say informal assessment, and then we have the actual practical. So when we would get our assessments done, we would assess what our wax up looks like, and then the faculty would assess based off of their knowledge and their expertise. And they were much more lenient on the assessments when it was self-graded assessments than they were on the actual practical. So don't use those assessment grades that you get as a metric for how well you're doing on the actual practical, because it will probably be about 10 points lower, to say the least. At least it was for me. So that class was a little difficult. It was a little bit of a learning curve, but we were able to overcome. And all the other classes, you guys heard me use this term multiple times on my channel. It's called a border boy. I was a border boy in neuro. I was a border boy in physio for sure. And we'll get to physio a little later, but I will say physio was one of the more difficult classes that I took during my first year. For those who don't know, I ended up running for presidency during my first year at the University of Maryland School of Dentistry. And during that time, I wanted to run for presidency for multiple reasons, but in all honesty, a lot of people won't say this, but I'm really glad that I didn't win. And I say that I'm glad that I didn't win because it allowed me to have more time outside of school to accomplish things I really wanted to accomplish that I probably would not have accomplished if I was in that presidency role. I was able to pick up a little more hours at work, and when picking up a little more hours at work, I was able to engage with different people from the UK, people from Canada, people from Australia, talking to people who are striving to get into medical residencies, and really seeing a wide variety of dental or healthcare professionals, while also looking at medical professionals in themselves, and really getting to engage with them. And it's really opened my eyes to a lot of different things in the field of medicine. So that's the one thing that's extremely important. And it's also allowed me to have time outside of school to go to the gym more often, to spend more time with my girlfriend, going on picnics, going on hikes, going to the movies, really having a more relaxed type of lifestyle, in addition to the stuff that I've been doing outside of school, obviously, and in class to dedicate to really cultivating myself. And I'm really grateful for that. Now, I chose not to rerun this year because there are a couple of things in school that I want to get involved with outside of SGA. And that doesn't mean that I probably won't run in the future, but we'll see how things go. We're taking it a day at a time. All right, so in addition to that, The next thing that I will say, if I were to go back and I were to change anything, I would have definitely spent more time in the lab waxing up. Another thing that I would have done is I would have spent a little more time going to some clubs and organizations at the school. And sometimes it could be a little intimidating because a lot of people seem like they're moving super fast paced. And sometimes people could be a little passive aggressive and they seem like they don't really care to help you out. And you really have to be a type of person where you can get past those passive aggressive tendencies. Because unfortunately, a lot of people who are not specifically in my class, but they may be upperclassmen, and I'm not saying everyone is, it's not the case for everyone, but a lot of people just don't want to be bothered with helping out other people. And it's kind of ironic to me how we're going into a profession where we're literally going to be serving people. But yet a lot of us don't want to have that tendency to serve or look out for others or take time to even talk to somebody because we're always in such a rush. So get past that initially. Just know that if somebody is being standoffish, it's probably not because of you. It's probably because they're not managing their time well, or they're unprepared, or they don't really know how to handle the rigors of dentistry like they should. So it's all to do with them and really nothing to do with you. And also, you really want to self-reflect. You want to make sure that you're not that type of person that's being passive aggressive, being standoffish, and not looking to help someone who may have questions or comments or concerns or something of that nature. So I think this year going in, I want to be a little more involved when it comes to clubs and organizations. Again, there are a lot of clubs at school who are very welcoming, very inviting, and those were the organizations that I have been a part of. I did go to a lot of the meetings that they had for SDA, the lunch and learns. I was a part of a lot of the things that they were doing for the cosmetic club as well at the school, seeing what are some of the procedures they're doing and some of the guest speakers they had. And I was also looking at a lot of the things that they were doing at Implant Club as well, to see, what placing an implant is like, and, really expanding my knowledge on what the school has to offer. So I would definitely say, starting out, reach out to whoever your big is. And for those who may not know, your big is going to be someone who's a year above you in school, and they're going to be mentoring you based off of, their knowledge of what they know about the school, and really getting you acclimated to the environment and the setting of the program. All right, another thing I wish I would have known going into dental school that I'm glad that I know now, and I really found out super quickly while in dental school, was that this is not something you can do by yourself. When I was in undergrad, for many of you guys who don't know, I graduated top of my class. I was valedictorian, and I gave the commencement speech. And I was, really ecstatic because all those things I did during that time was really up to my discretion. I spent a lot of time studying individually, and I spent a lot of time learning the content and then hosting study sessions to teach other people the content that I learned. Obviously, you have ample amount of time in undergrad. Although I was taking 15 or 16 credits at a time, I had much more time then than I did now, especially with the rigor of dental school. But I found that in order for you to be successful, at least with my metric of success in dental school, you really need to work with other people in your class. And this is coming from someone who loves studying by themselves. I found that, being in study sessions with people who are like-minded, people who I truly do call my family, these are people who, keep you on track, are able to allow you to take breaks and have a quick laugh whenever you need it, and really keep you motivated on a daily basis to continue to strive for, being your best. And I will say that I would not have had the success that I needed if it wasn't for these people in my life who have continuously poured into me this level of encouragement. So if you're watching this video, you're one of those people. I just want to say thank you for helping me get through a difficult year, and more years to come for sure. So keep that in mind as you go into dental school. You really want to find a great group of people. And if you choose to go to the University of Maryland, it's not going to be too hard to find that group of people to make sure that they're looking out for your best interest. Now, keep this in mind. There's a lot of people on the other side of that as well. Not everyone's going to be looking out for your best interest, and not everyone is going to really want to see you succeed. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. In this profession, a lot of things are super competitive. And the funny thing is we all competed to get into these programs. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be a competitor and you shouldn't compete to strive to be the best you can be to get into the program. But I will say, once you're in the program, it's really time for collaboration and working together with other people. And I find that more people waste time trying to be in competition with someone than working with somebody. And if you're that type of person who feels like they always need to be in competition with someone, you always feel like you need to be competing with people in your class when you guys are both trying to work towards the same goals, is really going to give you an unnecessary headache, and it's going to cause you to be set back more so than enjoying your time at dental school. I know plenty of people who have this mindset, and many of them, the stress of dental school weighs differently on them because they always feel like they have to be at the top. They always feel like they have to be super competitive. And I find that when you become more collaborative than competitive, you'll find ease in what you're doing, and you'll know that you're going to have a more enjoyable time throughout dental school. And your first year will go by super quickly, like it went by for me. So that's one of the pieces of advice that I would give to anyone coming in, and one of the things that I would implore you to really do a lot of self-reflection on is making sure that you're being more collaborative than competitive. Know the setting that you're in, and know that know when the right time is to be competitive and when the right time is to be collaborative. The next thing that I wish that I knew before coming into dental school was that you're going to be spending a lot of time learning stuff for the first time. The learning curve, especially for hand skills, is going to be a large one, and it's something that you can get, but it's going to take a lot of practice. You're not going to do something 1 or 2 times and be really good at it. It's going to take you about maybe 10, 15, 20 times, at least for my case, to be really, really decent at a procedure enough to get the grade that you want on a practical. And like I stated before, I did not know this when I was taking dental anatomy, and now I know it now. So when I went into operative, I knew I had to practice a lot of my preparations and a lot of my restorations more. And even now, I know I'm not 100% comfortable with those procedures, but I am much better than I was when I first started. So really getting prepared. The faculty at University of Maryland does a fantastic job in making sure that you have what you need to be really prepared. And for those who are actually coming to the University of Maryland next year, they're actually renovating both operatories for pre-clinic. So we're going to be having new sim labs, new chairs, and all that good old stuff. So you guys will be coming to a school with new material, which is going to be super exciting. But it's also going to be a learning curve in itself because you have to get used to using the new material. But for you guys, it won't be that bad because this is your first time experiencing it. Anyway, one thing I wish I knew before starting at the University of Maryland was also the fact that you have so much that's going to be offered to you throughout the day. So there's always a lunch and learn going on. There's always some club that's having a meeting. There's always some type of alumni thing. Like there's always something going on. So if you really wanted to be involved in school, it's always some form of community service. Be involved. If you are a commuting student like myself, it may be a little more difficult for you to be involved because a lot of these things happen at awkward times. So like there was one CE course that I took in pediatric dentistry at the school, and that CE course was offered from like 6:30 to 8 in the evening. If you're a commuter student and you know you have to be at the school at 8 a.m., you probably don't want to be at the school until 8:30, 9 o'clock that night before. So this might be an opportunity that you might not really engage in. But there are always things that are going on the school, not only just at the dental school, but at other campuses as well. So definitely look into those things. There's USGA, which is University SGA, where you can get involved into a plethora of different things that are going on campus. And make sure that you collaborate and talk to other students that are in other schools. For me, I know a lot of people at the law school because my brother's over there, a lot of people at the PT school and medical school because my girlfriend is associated with that program. And it's been a really great time collaborating with these different individuals. And I look forward to doing that in my future profession as well. One thing that I would say for people who are coming to Baltimore and they're not necessarily from this area is know the environment that you're coming into. Baltimore is not one of the safest areas to live in, but it gets a really bad rep for the most part because a lot of people think that it's just the worst area in the world. And although the crime rate is pretty high, you will find that a lot of people who are associated with the university don't really become victims to these crimes that are really elucidated in the city of Baltimore. And I say that because the campus does a really great job at keeping everything secure. There are things like safe rides to make sure you get home safely whenever you're leaving the school pretty late or super early. And there's always people outside who are either students, physicians themselves, or faculty at the school who are always on the move. So it's never a time you're going to be like literally walking down the street by yourself unless it's like 3 a.m. or some awkward time. So I wouldn't really be too concerned about the safety of the campus itself. But making sure you live in an area that is going to be safe is going to be extremely important. I know a lot of people in my class live in Fells Point. I know a lot of people live in Pigtown. I actually live in the suburbs that's not too far from Baltimore. It's called Catonsville, Maryland. And I like living in this specific area because it's about maybe a 30-minute, 25-minute drive from the school. I get to leave all the hustle and bustle of the city and go to a nice suburban area where it's like a whole bunch of trees and stuff like that. And the pace of life is just a little bit slower. That helps me clear my mind and really think about how I want to set up my future family in the future. So it's really great for me being outside of the city. Obviously that comes with its downfalls, but I will say really consider where you want to live before coming to University of Maryland School of Dentistry. With all that being said, I kind of want to wrap up this video talking a little bit about academic standards and what to expect academically at the school. So my schedule was pretty stringent. I woke up every single morning at around 5:50 or 6 o'clock, got to the gym by about 6:30, worked out from 6:30 to about 7:45, came back home, took a shower, ate breakfast, packed my bag, and was heading to the school at around 8:15. Most of our classes started at 9. If there was a time when we had 8 a.m.s, and for your first year, you pretty much have a lot of 8 a.m.s, I would just push everything up a little bit by about maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, so I can make sure that I would get to class at 8 a.m. And then basically you're in school from about 8 to 4, maybe 8 to 5 on some days. And then you're studying for at least 2 or 3 hours after that. I'll come back home, pack lunches for the next day, check my work email, make sure I don't have anything to do for work. And if I did, I would spend about maybe an hour and a half doing that. And then I would plan out what I was doing the next day. If there was a video that I wanted to film, I would plan out the content for the video that I wanted to film and different things of that nature. So every day is going to be pretty much a busy day. And really getting used to and understanding that it's going to be a busy day is going to be extremely important. And if you fixate your mindset on understanding that this is something that's positive more so than something that's negative, you'll do yourself a large favor in making sure that you're able to do all the things you want to get accomplished in a day without having the mental stress of thinking that they're burdens. And with all that being said, guys, I really hope you all found some great content in this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about any of this, please let me know. First year was definitely a successful year. I'm super excited to see what's going to be in store for next year, academically and outside of academics. And again, I'm here as a resource for any of you guys who are interested in the University of Maryland School of Dentistry. I'm really passionate about making these videos because it did not seem like too long ago I was in you guys' shoes and I was really just dreaming about being in this position when I was working as a crabber in Bowie, or if I was working when I was working as a cart boy at BJ's. I used to be thinking about times like this, and I'm so glad that they've came and they're reality now, and I'm willing to do anything to help you guys fulfill any of these goals and these aspirations you guys may have as well. So please be sure to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Send this video to a friend, whoever it may be, who may be doubting their ability to go into a profession like this. I promise you, if I can do it, if millions of people can do it, you can do it as well. So stay motivated and stay consistent, and you'll get there. I promise you. Hope you all found this video helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.